Hey everybody, welcome back. Peter Pop Art is here with you to take this drawing of our kid superhero to the next level. Now, we have already done our basic figure drawing and it's all been lightly roughed in. Today's video is going to be reasonably short because all I'm doing is adding the victory uniform on to our hero. So here's our progression from basic structure to a slightly more flushed out drawing of our character with some bits of anatomy thrown in. And now what we're going to do is add the costume. Now I have lowered the opacity of this drawing, and I'm going to lower this one as well. And I always draw when I'm working digitally the costume onto the characters or whatever I do, even if it's ties and jackets, if I'm drawing stuff like that. I always draw it on a separate layer in case I need to do a quick edit later. And what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to draw it in a different colored pencil. You do not need to do this. You can keep working in black if that's what you're doing with a regular number 2 pencil. I have my process, which is I always draw in blue first. Then when I start making additions like a costume, I end up drawing in red because it is a really easy way for me to kind of separate everything that's going on. Now, what I'm going to do is I know the hair is not necessarily what we would call part of the costume, but I kind of feel it is with this character because his hair pokes out from his mask. So all I'm doing is I'm just kind of defining the shape a little bit more. All right. And the reason is I'm going to take this piece a lot farther than I have any of the other ones. Excuse me. And I'm going to also just kind of play a little bit with the eyes a little bit. I'm basically also making some minor adjustments that I feel will be helpful as we progress. This way they're kind of on hand. But yet again, if I say, hey, I don't like that, poof, I just make it disappear. All right, now the mask. I designed this so that you could see a little bit of his forehead. His eyebrows are also part of the mask in terms of they're just very visibly defined. It helps add an element of the emotion to the character. And then over here, I have a part of the mask where you can actually see his chin now and his mouth. Now, obviously, our heroes today would be wearing full masks, especially if they're going out in public, right? But right now, that's how we would have him defined. The next step. His ears are exposed in the mask, by the way. All right. And now the next step is adding his cape. Now, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to kind of select a bunch of things and move everything over a chunk. And the reason is really simple. I want to have a long flowing cape because this character does have a cape. But also you'll notice that our character's hair is blowing this way. All right, which means the wind is coming from here. Which also means our cape, which starts off at his collarbone, all right, it just kind of tucks into his costume, is going to be blowing this way. All right, and it's going to start over here. We'll thin that up a little bit. Now, drawing capes, I always try to just make the shapes organic, meaning very natural and just kind of flowing. I don't, it's kind of hard to explain. These are one of those things that I just kind of do the way I do because I've been doing them so long. But I do know that there's connecting points. So I know that there's a part of the cape that connects over here to the point, and I would keep that element going like that. Probably have it billowing up over here. All right, and you'll see this is a lot rougher than a lot of the other stuff. And the reason is it's very organic. And by organic, meaning it doesn't have a lot of structure the way we structured everything else. It has more of a natural responding to the elements, which is, in this situation, the elements would be the wind. And maybe we would see a little bit of the part that's flapping over, coming up over here. And maybe wrapping around. I don't know if we'll keep that, but it's definitely some sort of additional visual interest. So now we have his cape roughed in. I'm going to give him a slightly bigger neck to kind of balance out the weight of the cape. Now remember, it all goes away if we want it to. My character has no gloves. This character's basically got a long sleeve shirt on in a way. All right, so you will end up seeing his bare hands. On his belt buckle, there is an upside down triangle, which I wanted to represent the letter V. And then, just above it, starts the V. And it goes all the way out. Almost towards, these are his pecs, almost towards his delt. All right, and then when I draw it, I just kind of make it like a big triangle again. But then I go in and kind of sculpt out the rest of the V. Now, on the main character, this is a lot bigger and a lot more impressive looking because he's got such a large frame. And I'm also drawing this over his little kid tummy. All right, now, I also gave him longer trunks. More kind of like a throwback. You know, if you look at like, you know, slightly older comics, you know, they would be, you know, they're wearing more like a brief. This is more like a boxer short kind of a design, you know, because our superheroes always wear their underwear on the outside. And his boots. I gave him a pointed top, kind of like an inverted V, intentionally. And his boots were always a little bit looser, kind of ish fitting to just show the fabric. We're always going to show his ankles. And his boot will have a tread. It'll have a sole. All right. Just to show that this is a meaty shoe. And then over here, we bring it up to the point. Cut it in a little bit. Get rid of that line. And then let's just shape this boot a little bit better. And then the heel. And the tread. Now, this as it stands, I know I'm going to need to thicken up his leg. So I'm making some minor adjustments to the actual drawing as I'm going along. This way I don't forget about them as I do more clips on how I finish this guy up. But right now, this is all I had to do to add the costume to my character. If you are doing your own character, maybe use these as some starting points. But they're definitely not the end of your character. You do what you feel you need to do. Because that artwork is your artwork. And I'm not here to tell you how to do your artwork. I'm here just to kind of draw along with you and have some fun with you. All right? Now, I hope everybody has been super good and super helpful and super listening to their parents and through their distance learning their teachers. And I really look forward to our next video together. Yet again, I am Peter Pop Art. And if you guys want to check out some more stuff or share the work on social media, here's all the stuff. Go to Instagram and use the hashtag PeterPopArt or hashtag Peter Pop Art Agency. And if you want to check out some fun art, just make sure you ask your parents before you check out the sites and before you post on social media. Everybody, I hope you are all safe, healthy, happy, and enjoying these art lessons. I look forward to seeing everyone soon.